Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai O Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pare Prajakacharyasto Uttarashadastri Srimadavai Charanarvinda His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo Sri Madhvacharya Avirbhav Madhvacharya Avirbhav Mahamahotsav Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayad Mudiraye Nashtabrayestu Avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuke Kamsyanubhavam Akhilam Srutisaramekam Adhyatma Deepam Athitir Satam Tamunnam Samsarina Karunayaha Purana Guyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurur Muninam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we are discussing about the divine appearance day of our prominent Acharya of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Sripad Madhvacharya. As we know that there are 4 different Vaishnava Sampradayas that can lead living being to the path of liberation, mukti, back to Godhead. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, this material world is like a deep well, and all the living beings are drowned into that deep well. And these 4 sampradayas are the 4 ropes. By catching those ropes, who can come out from this deep, dark well of material world. So, especially in Kali Yuga, these sampradayas or these great acharyas are required to guide confused and lost living being to their original home, back to God. In Satya Yuga, in other previous yugas, not much confusion. People are not much degraded. So all this acharya system may be not required for them. They have their common goal, and everybody know what is their dharma. So in Kali Yuga, Varna and Ashrama is established to keep people to the level of human being. Otherwise, if one does not follow the Varnashrama dharma, then one cannot maintain human level. We degrades, we go down from the human being. We become Dvipada Pasu, two-legged animal. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he established the principle that the sadhana and sadhya for this age of Kali is not following Varnashrama dharma and to return back home, back to Godhead. It may be sounding a little bit weird, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who said that the sadhana for attaining the supreme absolute truth in the age of Kali is chanting, remembering the glories of God. And after doing that, the supreme destination that we are looking for is not going back home, back to Godhead. We may go, we may not go, but to create the loving attachment, transcendental loving devotional service at the lotus feet of Lord. No matter you remain in this material world or you are transition to spiritual world, you always desire for that divine service, prema bhakti at the feet of Lord Sri Krishna. So Madhvacharya is the prominent acharya. We have 4 sampradayas. Padma Purana confirms that there are 4 authorized sampradayas. They propagate the message of Vedas to the common people with different ideas of philosophy. Same Vedanta, same knowledge, but different acharyas understand that knowledge in different perspective and engage their disciples into that practice. And there are 4 prominent acharyas for each sampradaya to establish the teachings of Vedas. The very first, Rudra Sampradaya coming from Lord Shiva, Sri Sampradaya coming from Sri Lakshmi ji, Mother Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi, and Kumara Sampradaya coming from 4 Kumaras, great son of Lord Brahma ji, and Brahma Sampradaya coming from Lord Brahma. And the prominent acharya of Rudra Sampradaya is Vishnu Swami. He propounded the philosophy and preached that thought and make the followers. And another prominent acharya from Sri Sampradaya was Ramanuja Acharya, who propounded the philosophy of Visishta Advaita Siddhanta, which is just opposite of Advaita Siddhanta, the Sankara philosophy. And another acharya for Kumara is Nimbarka Acharya. His philosophy he propounded was Dvaita Advaita Siddhanta. And another philosophy of Madhvacharya is a prominent Acharya of Brahma Sampradaya. He studied Vedas. He studies previous conclusion from Sankaracharya Siddhanta, and he propounded Dvaita philosophy, the dualism. In Sankaracharya, they say that everything is Brahman, Supreme Brahman, who does not have so many attributes, is a impersonal Brahman, and every living being is part, not part and parcel, but same Brahman. It is because of my ignorance that we are here like living as the soul. But once you understand that you are not this body, then you are the same Brahman. You and that Brahman has no difference. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Soham. It's like that kind of mantra they chant. And this world, material world, is mithya. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The absolute reality is Brahma, absolute truth, and this physical world is an illusion, it's not reality, it's not truth. That was the philosophy of Shankaracharya. And in fact, Shankaracharya is the incarnation of Lord Shiva, and he was ordered by Lord to preach this Mayavadi philosophy, to confuse people. To confuse people. And after that, Ramanujacharya preached, and our Madhvacharya come up with Dvaita Siddhanta, that the Supreme Lord is eternal, is an absolute truth, and the living entities are part and parcel of the same personality, but they do not merge into Him after they get moksha. The living entities maintain their individual identity and serve the Lord in the spiritual world, in material world. They are two different existence. So, and we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years, some years ago, he did not founded his own sampradaya. Even though he is a supreme personality of Godhead, he could have his own line of thought, and then he could start his own sampradaya, but he did not do. He joined Madhvacharya Sampradaya, and he reformed that philosophy into Achintya Veda Aveda Tattva. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took two qualities from each four sampradayas and then make it complete and perfect to our sampradaya. At some point, Gaudiya sampradayas were in very great danger. When Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was living in Vrindavan, Srila Radha Govinda Dev temple was in Jaipur, and Sri Vaishnava Acharya, they were saying that, who is this Gaudiya? This Madhvacharya Sampradaya, we recognize them because Madhvacharya was great prominent Acharya. But how come this Gaudiya word added to this Madhvacharya Sampradaya? They do not have a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So they are not eligible to worship Radha Govinda Dev. Govinda Dev should be worshipped with Rukmini Devi. And not this Vaishnav, they are not authorized to worship Radha Govinda Dev because they do not have commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So there was a big challenge to our sampradaya for our existence. Because in Ramanujacharya, they are all very great scholars. Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya wrote Sri Bhasyam from the Vedanta Sutra. And Shankaracharya wrote Saririka Bhasya, the Mayavada philosophy. One thing, never study Mayavada philosophy. You may be a very great scholar, Gyani. You can be a big orator. You can argue and make so many points from the Shastras, but you will lose your track. You will not find Krishna there. You kick Krishna out from there. So Mahaprabhu said, Mayavada Bhashya Sunile Oil Sarvanasa. If one hear this impersonal philosophy propounded by Shankaracharya, one will completely destroy his devotion. No longer. You start thinking Soham, Soham, instead of saying Dasoham, Dasoham. And they gave like a challenge to Gaudiya devotees. If you are authorized people to worship Radha Krishna, Radha Govinda Dev, then you must have your own bhasya, your own commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was already very old and he did not have enough energy to come and then defeat the challenge by Sri Vaishnavas. And he requested Baladeva Vidya Bhushana. Baladeva Vidya Bhushana is coming from Madhvacharya line, and he was hearing from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam in Vrindavan. So there was some connection in Siksha with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructed Baladeva Vidya Bhushana to come up with commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Not have enough time, maybe 3-4 days, 7 days maximum. And to write commentary on Vedanta Sutra is not a joke. It's not a writing an essay to our school preparation exam. Someone, you write essay? Yes. Or not doing like little project work in our school. Vedanta Sutra is a vast, this is the whole Vedic knowledge inside there, and different section of knowledge, Vedas, and you have to draw out the conclusion from studying that vast ocean of knowledge. And it should not be the same like yours, same like his. It should have your own different philosophy. So Baladeva Vidya Bhushana humbly requested the order from his spiritual master Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he went to the temple, Govinda Dev temple in Jaipur. And he prayed to the Lord, my dear Lord, I have no idea how I am going to come up with the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra within certain days. So now it's all up to you. If you would like to keep this line going on, then it is up to you. Help me. He sat down, started meditating on the Lord, and started writing within 3 days that Govinda Vasya was created, compiled by Baladeva Vidya Bhushana. Why the name Govinda Vasya? because it was not the word of Baladev Vidyabhushan, it was written, directly guided and instructed by Govinda Dev, the Supreme Lord. That's why that Bhasya's name is called Govinda Bhasya. It's a word from Govinda's. And after presenting that philosophy, that commentary to the community of Vaishnavas, and Gaudiya Vaishnavas were authorized to worship Radha Govinda Dev. The mantra भन्नुहोस् त राधा गोविन्द देवको श्री राधा गोविन्द देवौ प्रष्टालवे सेव्य स्मनामि भन्नु सुरुबाट भन्नु द्रिव्याद वृन्दारण्य कल्पतरु मदा श्रीमद् रत्नागर सिंहासनास्तौ श्री श्रीमद् राधा श्री गोविन्द देवौ प्रष्टालवे सेव्यमानो स्मरामि. Then our Gaudiya Vaishnavas were authorized. And so this is how this Brahma, it originated from Lord Brahma. Madhva, he was the prominent Acharya of Brahma Sampradaya. Gaudiya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appeared in this Sampradaya in Gauda Desh, Bengal, West Bengal, Bangladesh, and this, the region would call Gauda Desh in those days. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching this Sankirtan mission in that area, and all the great prominent acharyas joined there. Ramanujacharya came as a different devotee in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. Nimbarka Swami came. Other great acharyas joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching in Navadvip Mandala Parikrama. So Madhvacharya completely defeated the idea established by Shankaracharya. After Shankaracharya came up with his philosophy, Advaita Siddhanta, he preached, he traveled all over India and established this philosophy. And this philosophy is still prominent in India. So many people think once you die, once you get liberated, you merge into the Brahman. And Brahman is not a person. All these personalities come from their Brahman. Krishna is coming from Brahman, Rama is coming from Brahman, all this incarnation, the original source is that Brahman. So that philosophy was completely defeated by Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya is the incarnation of Vayu, wind. Before he was like that, Madhvacharya, he was Hanuman in Ram's time. When Lord Ramachandra was coming, he was assisted by Hanuman. And at the time of Sri Krishna and Dwapara Yuga, he was a Bhima. And in this time in Kali Yuga, the same personality became Madhvacharya. He was very powerful personality. Many mysteries. His birth was very mysterious. His father, Narayana Bhatta, and his mother, they had a baby and the baby died. And after that, the parents were very much sad, and they went to the Ananteswar Mandir, the Balaram temple near Karnataka, Udupi. And for 12 years, they only drank milk, Payovrata Yajna, and asked for a pure devotee as their son. How many years? 12 years. Sometime when we do a Nirjala Ekadasi one day, and we start like, oh, I'm fasting Nirjala, so let me withdraw from my seva. And after completion, maybe another week, I need some rest. And also, whoever we meet, Did you fast, Nirdala? I did. You didn't? Okay, I did it. Say, this is our mood. But they were drinking milk for 12 years and wished for a better, good son, the devotee son. And at the end, Madhvacharya came. When he was like infant, baby Madhvacharya, Basudev, once there was a big snake, black, poisonous, venomous snake coming to attack the baby boy. And that boy, with his toe, smashed the head of the snake against the big rock. And I heard that footprint of Madhvacharya killing that venomous snake is still there in that place. So devotees, when they visit Udupi, they visit that place. And at the time of 6, when he was 6 years old, his father was a poor Brahmin. He had taken like loan from people with a promise that I'll pay it back within certain time. And that loan lender man came to collect loan once, and said, today I will not leave your home until you pay me back. I stay here. Father was very sad, depressed. What to do? I don't have money. I cannot get it right now. And seeing that very sad face of his father, 6-year-old Basudeva asked, what happened? Daddy, why are you so sad? Oh, you do not understand, boy. I have a problem. I need to pay to this man, but I do not have money. But anyway, it is not your business. You cannot help me. And the baby boy went back to his backyard. There was a tamarind tree. Imli ka ped. Tamarind tree. And the boy collected some seeds, tamarind seeds, and brought in his hand. How much you have to pay to him? Oh, this much. Oh, only that much? Okay, not a big deal. You should have told me already. And when he went back and collected those seeds and came to that man who was waiting to receive money from his father, he handed that seed. Take it, uncle. Here is your money. That man started laughing, and because he could not believe that the little boy could pay my debt off. But still, just to respect that child effort, he took that seeds, and later on that seeds turned into golden coin. That man was very much surprised. And okay, are you happy? Did you get your money back? Yes, I got more than what I owe. And he returned. So this kind of miraculous thing, Madhvacharya, he used to do that in his very early childhood. So when he was sent to Gurukula at the age of like 7, 8, after 6, 7, and Madhvacharya would not pay any attention to the class. He would run around, play, going here and there, disturbing the class. Huh? Yes, like normal kids. And the teacher would chastise him. Your father is a great devotee. He had a great hope from you. You should study and pay attention to the class. You cannot behave like this. Otherwise, you will be destroying your father's dream. Your father wants you to learn from Gurukula and become a nice student so that you can support him in future. And Madhvacharya said, "Oh, am I not studying? What's wrong with me? I think I know everything you're teaching. How can you know you when you are not attending the class, when you are not paying attention and you're just running around playing like everybody, like some of the nutty students?" Then Vasudev said all the lesson word by word that you taught this so far, and you are going to teach this and this and this knowledge in future. Am I correct? Is that your curriculum that you want to teach me? And then teacher was so much surprised that, oh, you do not require to be in the class, you go home. Because you know already everything. Whatever you teach, Vasudev would already know. Madhu, Dwa means one who possesses it, full knowledge. That's why his name was Madhvacharya. And his father said, for you to defeat this philosophy of Sankaracharya is same like you plant this dry stick and grow a tree from this stick, which means almost impossible. This dry stick, when you plant, it cannot grow back because it has no life, it's dead. So that much difficult it is to defeat this philosophy established by Sankaracharya. And Madhvacharya said, oh, only that hard? I thought it is even more difficult than that. And he broke that tree into 3 pieces and planted, and all 3 trees grew back. Then his parents realized that this child is something else, not an ordinary child. And when he was like turning 8, his parents wanted him getting married. And he ran away from home and went to Achyuta Pragya, his spiritual master, and took sannyas at the age of 12. In Madhvacharya, they always take sannyas in early age. The current Acharya, the Peshawar Swami, also took sannyas at the age of 7, and he is still maintaining his sannyasa dharma and the preaching. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he met the follower of Madhvacharya and discussed about the philosophy. What is the goal of life? And they answered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that to remain in Varnasrama Dharma and to return back home, back to Godhead. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after discussing with them a lot, he brought this idea, Sravanam Kirtanam is the goal, is the sadhana, and then having devotional service, the prema, bhakti at the feet of Krishna is the goal of life, not necessarily returning back home, back to Godhead. You remain here or there, but you have that divine love in your heart and you serve the Lord with that mission. And you chant and dance and smaran, you remember and everything. So he amended this Dvaita philosophy propounded by Madhvacharya and gave the final verdict of Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, combining all the good qualities from all the 4 sampradayas. And it is the latest amendment in this thought of this Vedic school, that Achintya Veda Aveda Tattva. You are inconceivably one and different. You are one in quality and different in quantity. This is the latest philosophy by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you have a Udupi Krishna, beautiful deity of Lord Balgopal in Udupi, Karnataka, and that deity is still going on. There is a story how Madhvacharya received that deity. There are different stories about how it was received, but let me tell one story. One day, Madhvacharya was going to the ocean to take a bath, and there was a heavy storm in the ocean. Big waves are coming, and a boat was coming from Dwaraka. A businessman was coming with a boat loaded with his goods, and that there was a big danger for the boat. It was going to sink into the water in the ocean. And seeing that pathetic situation, Madhvacharya, he just fanned his gamsa, towel, and control the direction of the wind and make that ocean calm down, peaceful, and created the wind so that it could come to the shore. And that boatman, after safely landing on the shore of the bank of the ocean, he was very much pleased by the help of Madhvacharya, and he asked what he would want from him. He wanted to give some gift for helping him. And Madhvacharya, as a great devotee, very great renunciate, he did not want to accept anything from the businessman. But the businessman wanted to give him something. So he just saw that big log of chandan. He brought that chandan just to balance the weight in the ship, in the boat. He did not know it was the deity of Krishna inside. Like sometimes if some kids find diamond in the street, for them it's just like a normal rock. Like a washerman, once he had a diamond rock and he used to beat his clothes to wash. He did not realize that it was diamond. So until we understand the value of something, and we do not know the meaning. So the businessman offered that chandan log to Madhvacharya, which was very, very heavy, that would need like 30-40 people to carry. But Madhvacharya was easily like just carrying like this, very easily, as if it's just like a piece of little small rock. On the way, it broke, and the beautiful deity manifested from there. And he established the temple, the deity. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally visited Udupi temple, where Madhvacharya established this deity and instructed his disciples, his followers, that follow the teachings of Madhvacharya very carefully. He stressed that our followers will follow the teachings of Madhvacharya because he's our permanent Acharya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think Baladeva Vidyabhushana pointed out 9 major teachings of Madhvacharya that are in our Prabhupada books. Most of his books are written in the same mood that Madhvacharya wrote his books. And Madhvacharya, in our disciplic succession, if you see, from Krishna, it comes down to Lord Brahma. From Brahma, it comes to where? Narad Muni. From Narad Muni, Vyasadev. From Vyasadev, Madhvacharya. See the gap. Vyasadev and Madhvacharya is a big difference, big gap. But Madhvacharya, after he writing the commentary on Bhagavad Gita, he went to Badarikashram to see Vyasadeva. Do you know Vyasadeva is one of the 7 Chiranjeevi who lived, even still living, who is living at the end of this Vaivaswata Manvantara. Vyasadeva is still living, like Hanuman, Vyasadeva, Bali. Who else? There are 7. Saptaita Chiranjeevinaha. Parsuram. All right. So
there's also 2. I think each Bhakta, I read in the 12th canto, there's 2 kings that are still alive. They're waiting for Kali Yuga.
yes. So Vyasadeva is one of them. Okay. And when Madhvacharya went to see Vyasadeva in Badarika Ashram, he presented his commentary on Bhagavad Gita to Vyasadeva to find and to make sure it is correct. And in that writing, Madhvacharya was writing that with my limited knowledge, I am presenting this knowledge with my limited knowledge. And Vyasadeva corrected that thing. You should not say that you are writing with limited knowledge, but you should say here, I am writing to the people who have limited knowledge. Your knowledge is not limited, but you are presenting. If you present everything to this in this book, then these people who with limited knowledge may not understand. But you are focusing on the people who have limited knowledge so that they can understand. And he wrote so many bhashyas, commentaries on many books in short, like not cells. Sometimes very difficult to understand for common people. This way, he received blessing from Vyasadeva. That's why now disciplic succession, after Vyasadeva, we have Madhvacharya. Because our Sampradaya's disciplic succession is based on Siksha, not Diksha. Siksha means teaching. That is why teaching, education is very important. Even in today's world, we still focus on Siksha more than Diksha. If we miss this teaching of our previous acharyas, then our system of disciplic succession become just a ritual, and we will be distracted from our path, and we will start concocting and speculating and quarreling and fighting, because if you have so many so many ideas in your mind, then you fight. Madhvacharya defeated so many great Jai Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. One time a Buddhist, very big famous Buddhist monk came to argue with Madhvacharya. Jai Ho, Hari Bol. And then that Buddhist monk said, I do not believe in Vedas. He openly rejected Vedas. That's the Buddhism philosophy, right? You deny the existence of Vedas. And Madhvacharya said, okay, if you do not follow the authority of Vedas, then you follow your argument, your tarka. Argument is to prove something wrong. You can prove like right to wrong and wrong to right. This is the philosophy of argument. Then after hearing from Madhvacharya, their Buddhist philosopher, he realized the depth knowledge of Madhvacharya and said, I will come tomorrow to continue the discussion. And he never come back. He knew that he would be defeated very easily. Madhvacharya would defeat anyone, any my impersonalism, right? Very easily. Just like Prabhupada would always attack impersonal people. All time. He would encounter with so many impersonalist people, and Prabhupada would easily defeat them, fearlessly defeat them. And one day, before I conclude, let me read that teaching, 9 prominent teaching Baladev Vidyabhushan quoted from Madhvacharya's teaching. The number 1 is Lord Sri Krishna, he used the word Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, alone is the supreme personality of Godhead without a second. Is absolute truth. And number 2 is he, the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the object of knowledge in all the Vedas. Vedaishta sarvair aham eva vedyo. If you study all the Vedas and if you do not know me, then your study of Vedas is waste of time. This is number 2 teaching from Madhvacharya. Number 3, the universal is real, Satya. Just opposite idea of Shankaracharya. He said Jagat Mithya. It is not true. It is just an illusion. But Madhvacharya said this world is created by God. That is why this cannot be Mithya. This is also real. It may be a temporary, but it is a real thing. Number 4, the differences between Iswara, Jiva, and matter are real. This is also just in contrary to Shankara's philosophy that everything is same. Once you realize that you are Brahman, then you are the same Brahman, the same supreme personality. You are none different from that absolute truth. Shivoham, you are Shiva, I am Shiva. We all are God. But he says there is a difference between the Lord, Iswara, Jiva, and the Prakriti. These different 3 things. There is a relationship, but they are individual. Number 5, Jiva or souls are by nature the servant of the Supreme Lord Hari. Jivera Swarupa hai, Nityara Krishnera Nityadas. This same philosophy was spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. Number 6, there are 2 categories of living entities. One is Nitya Mukta, Nitya Baddha, liberated and illusioned. And number 7, liberation or moksha means attaining the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. In other words, entering an eternal relationship of service to the Supreme Lord. Not to merge into that energy in Brahman, but to attain divine service, devotional service. Number 8, pure devotional service to Krishna is the only way to attain this liberation. What is the way of moksha? Is a pure devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. And 9, that absolute truth can be understood by 3 different ways. Prataksha Praman, from direct perception. Anuman Praman, from speculation. And Sabda Praman, by the scriptures, by the Vedas, by the words from Vedas. So these are the 9 prominent teachings established by Madhvacharya, and we can see all these philosophies injected in the purport of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada quote Madhvacharya in several occasions, and pays a big respect in his writing. And we are very, very fortunate to have such a great Acharya in our line. And one time he was discussing about the pastimes of Krishna from Aitareya Upanishad in the Ananteswar temple. And all the demigods were showering flowers, parijat flowers, and playing the kettle drums. And Madhvacharya's body was covered with the flower, and finally he disappeared from there. He physically, nobody found his body. That was divine disappearance of Madhvacharya. So this is the life and teachings of Madhvacharya, and how Gaudiya Vaishnava added in this Madhva Sampradaya. We discussed that. Yes.
I was listening online. I was in service, but I was hearing. Question is, we find the Chaitanya Charitamrita that we hear we're part of the Madhva Sampradaya, but yet Lord Chaitanya has a debate with the Tattvavadis, which are followers of Madhvacharya, and he defeats them.
Yeah.
And I've actually criticizes them pretty seriously. And so I was always, I kind of know the points he makes, Lord Chaitanya makes against the Tattvavadis or the Madhvacharya philosophers. But is there a difference between the Tattvavadis and the normal followers of Madhvacharya, or?
No, Madhvacharyas are also known as Tattvavadis. They are same.
So then Lord Chaitanya also criticized them.
He criticized in a way that he wanted to make it clear that following Varnasrama Dharma and going back home, back to Godhead, is not the goal of our Vaishnavas. He stressed about Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and attaining that Prema Bhakti, and added that. And then he corrected them, and in a nice way, because he was a Supreme Lord, he could do that, chastise. So yeah, that was there.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
So, we're the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, so why? I don't get it. Why are we the Brahma Madhva if Lord Chaitanya defeated the Madhvas? And why are we even in the Madhvas? What's the deal?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not defeat Madhvacharya, but his followers, when the follower were practicing the education given by Madhvacharya, they were little bit deviating from the line.
He defeated the deviants, not Madhvas.
No, their deviation was corrected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then built up, and then founded another philosophy.
Also, there's another Tirobha telling, I never heard the flower thing. But the one I've heard is that he wanted to disappear, and he just told them, "I'm going out," and he started walking to the Himalayas in the north. But they were so attached to him that they were trying to follow him. But because he's an incarnation of Vayu, then he started to leaps and bounds like Superman. He leaps all buildings in a single bound. You know. So then they couldn't follow him.
There was, I read that when he was going to see Vyasadeva.
Well, that's where I hear he was going.
And regarding his leaving his body, he was talking about
I heard that was the same time.
Aitareya Upanishad, discussing from that Upanishad, and he just disappeared, and his body was covered with the flowers. Later on, no, there was no body.
Yeah, that's in the Aitareya Upanishad.
Yeah.
What about the leaps and bounds? What about Brahmasiddhas? Is that anywhere written down?
It is written there, and I heard some lectures from devotees also.
Yeah.
And when his follower, and another story, fighting with tiger. You know, is one time his brother, a disciple sannyasi, was attacked by tiger, and then he grabbed the tiger and then chastised the tiger, and tiger was putting tail below the two legs and running away like this. That is, yes.
I've heard that what I heard was that he went to see Vyasadeva, but came back. That's how I've understood it, at least. I'm not, you can't say I'm 100% sure, but when he went to see Vyasadeva, he went to the Himalayas to study under Vyasadeva and then came back and he leaped there. And then, and then Kirtan's story about the Tirabhav. Also, I've also heard that, speaking of Baladev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti, that during the debate with...
I'd say that.
But that was Baladev who he established or put forward that we're part of the Madhva Sampradaya because Madhavendra Puri was initiated in the Madhva Sampradaya. So even though our philosophy is more transcendental or deeper, because we're following Lord Chaitanya, still the line is still coming from Madhvacharya because Lord Chaitanya, both Madhavendra Puri, Ishwar Puri, and Lord Chaitanya come in the line of Madhvacharya.
If you go to Udupi, you don't find majority of us. They can't relate to.
Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought this rasa tattva in the philosophy letter and he added that. Yes, because it was the Madhvacharya was preaching according to time, place, and circumstances because he had to fight with Mayavadis first. Doesn't mean that he did not know it, but he spent most of his time defeating these Mayavadis.
Also in the Mahatmya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses that Lord Chaitanya appeared to Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya was somehow unlike there sometimes. So Lord Chaitanya appeared. Actually, Lord Chaitanya appeared to each of the acharyas. And he spoke to them. So they were all actually doing a mission. From that perspective, they were all doing a mission for Lord Chaitanya. They were preaching according to time, place, and circumstance under the instruction of Lord Chaitanya directly.
Yeah.
That's what it said in the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book by Professor Sanyal, that he went to all the acharyas and he told each one what he's going to take from what they did.
Yeah. He took all the two qualities from each sampradayas.
And he completed it with the Chintamaya.
Yep.
And also he was so powerful, he was able to carry Sri Krishna Devi all the way from the seashore to Udupi.
I mentioned that.
You mentioned
Yeah.
that,
Sri Sripad Madhvacharya Maharaj ki jai. We are fortunate and rich.